From the floor of the CME Group, I'm Peter Yastrow. It's Tuesday, the first day after Labor Day, and the markets are walking in quietly. Everyone's very nervous about Europe. The talk of the trade is what's happening in Europe. There are so many wheels in motion. I don't want to sit here and bore you with all the details, but it's the exact same story they were dealing with at the beginning of the summer. But you know how Europeans are. They go on vacation and come back and eureka, the problem's still sitting there. Meanwhile, LIBOR futures here are discounting quite a bit of problems, especially by December. The December euro now is 20 ticks lower than you would have it if we weren't afraid of Europe. So there's a lot of concerns right now, and they've built in a lot of fear in the front month euro-dollar contracts. We'll see whether or not that actually becomes reality. Right now it's all smoke and no fire. That's to say the same thing about the S&Ps. Yes, we know the economy's bad. We've been hearing it for a long time. The Fed's responded by getting rates down to 2%, an amazingly low rate and an excellent effort by the Fed. The rest of the heavy lifting is up to Washington and corporations. These are kind of statements are being said now in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and all the economists are starting to jump on board. They'll say it's not a monetary issue, not a Fed issue, but a fiscal issue. Fiscal is a fancy word for Washington. Meanwhile, we're watching this thing. It's coming down to some awesome levels to start sticking your toe in and start buying some stocks. They've trashed a lot of stocks here while they sold the S&Ps down. This is all fear. It's all on fear. If, in fact, any of this comes to fruition, you're talking about the end of economics, the end of capitalism as we know it, perhaps the end of the euro currency as we know it. So either it's going to be an oh my God situation, or it's going to be a real big yawn and we're right back to the old ranges. Right now, I have to bet on going back to the old ranges. That just seems to be what always happens. The politicians step in and they fix the problems with more legislation, more bureaucracy, and more nonsense. Just look at what just happened in the Swiss franc. The huge move today is a response of politicians stepping in and trying to fix the market move that we saw last week, where people were so eager to buy the Swiss franc they were willing to put the money in the banks and pay the banks to keep it for them. Well, they're not going to let that happen too much longer. So stay tuned and be careful, because the big governments are starting to take action, and when they start taking action, it's often stupid and big. So be careful, trade small, and don't get sucked in this week. It's a week of politics. From the floor of the CME Group, I'm Peter Yastrow.
Hey, bring it back, bring it back. Now double your money and make it stack. I'm on to the next one, on to the next one.